Okay, well, our question for today is from Brandon, who is in Caboolture, Queensland. I've noticed at this E3 that almost all of the games are online co-op only, or one of its redeeming features. I've been more of a single-player fan for a while now, and this is worrying me. Are single-player exclusives out the door? In future, will every game be online-based? Do you two hope that single-player remains? Thanks, guys. Love the show.
Well, Brandon, that certainly did strike me as a bit of a theme this year. From the co-op in the new Assassin's Creed game, to Far Cry, to a purely multiplayer-focused Fable game of all franchises, and stuff like Splatoon, The Division, Evolve, Rainbow Six, Destiny, there was a definite feeling that multiplayer and co-op are getting more attention across the board than usual.
Yeah, but I honestly don't think that you have to worry about single-player games disappearing anytime soon. There are lots of gamers like yourself out there, not to mention a lot of developers who love crafting those amazing story-driven experiences.
Yeah, and even this year we've seen Wolfenstein just go completely single player, which is pretty rare for a first-person shooter. And we've got massive games coming up like Witcher 3, Dragon Age Inquisition, Shadow of Mordor, The Order 1886, and Quantum Break. And as far as we know, all of those are single-player focused.
Yeah, personally, I'm with you though, Brandon. I love a well-told story in a game with a universe that I can just lose myself in.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what single-player games do the best is make you feel stuff, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the most incredible things about video games is the fact that you develop a connection with them more than other narrative mediums because of that interactive element. So for me, that's really exciting, and that's where I want to see games pushing boundaries and creating new story experiences. I mean, that said, I'm all for games adding in online aspects as long as I can still enjoy the game solo.
I loved how Dead Space 3 did it, because you could play that solo or co-op, but if you chose to play on your own, you wouldn't see some derpy AI buddy. It was removed all completely with tweaked cutscenes. But if you played with co-op, it was like any other co-op game, and I thought that was a perfect way of handling it. And, you know, I think that single-player games are trying to up their solo campaigns. I think the cops and robbers setting for the new Battlefield could work really well. Of course, they've got Kevin Spacey in the new Call of Duty, so fingers crossed his performance can add a bit more weight to that single-player game too.
And that's where I come in.
Call of Duty really needs to work on their single-player storytelling, don't they?
Yes.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how they turn out, I suppose. But now I think it's You Review time. And speaking of games that tried to blur the single-player and multiplayer, let's see what everyone thought of the highly anticipated Watch Dogs.
Let's do it.
Back in.
And general opinion seems to be quite positive, with most of you giving some pretty decent scores. Sozomatic here said, "Sick as man, best game ever," and gave it 7.5 stars.
Likewise, Reaper9831 seemed to enjoy it a lot, saying, "This was an awesome game, but it sucks that you can't fly anything."
That's unusual.
8.5 stars.
Clayton, meanwhile, gave us this glowing review. "It's a really cool game. I like that you can hack and the story. 10 out of 10.
Ninja Crab Gamer took issue with what is perhaps a slightly misleading title, writing, "Not as much fun as GTA 5, but still lots of hacking fun, although I could not find one dog."
Really? Yeah. Well, do me a favor. Let's get on with it. How much time do we have?
7.5 stars.
Yeah, that was disappointing, but not everyone was so impressed. Fandango here took particular issue with the graphics, saying, "Horrible game, does not even have dynamic shadows, but GTA 4 did."
What are you, 6?
4.5 stars.
And Harry here seemed to be almost completely indifferent, writing, "It is okay, but not a must-have game."
Kick me when I'm down.
5 stars.
Meanwhile, Guest had some harsh words for one version of the game in particular and said, "PC version just sucks."
Think?
3 stars.
Ouch. Well, a fairly mixed bag of opinions there, and don't forget, if you'd like to leave your own review, you can do that on our website and our Good Game app. On that note though, here's Dave.